Hey, Karim.
Hey, Zach.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I think you're just being loud because I'm loud. But I know that's not true.
Let's see who imitates who.
So, Karim, you invented and worked on my favorite tool of all time.
Did I?
The Linux Trace Toolkit.
Oh, that one.
The Linux Trace Toolkit is a fantastic tool. Anybody who's worth anything, and anybody who thought that they knew what was going on in Linux, if they had never used the Linux Trace Toolkit, they really didn't know.
Yeah, well, I'm the first. That's why I wrote it anyway.
So tell me about it. What prompted you to create that?
LTT?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was in college, I kind of discovered that I liked operating systems for some odd reason. Everybody else that was in my class, that's right, it's a mental thing.
It's a mental thing.
Everybody else in my class was like, what the heck, dude? This is so boring. I was like, no, this is really cool. So I actually eventually wrote my own kind of microkernel. And as I wrote this, I was like, this is really complicated stuff. It's kind of like all parallel, all moving, in all sorts of directions. And so when I came to Linux, it was like, wait a second, I need to understand that thing, right? And as I was kind of doing with my other thing that I wrote, I essentially kind of started inserting these trace points. And I was like, okay, let's just draw a graph with this and see what it looks like. And that's where LTT came from. And I learned a tremendous amount from that tool myself, just writing it.
Well, I think what's really amazing about it is, unlike a lot of people that kind of stick to a particular domain, right? You are actually both in the kernel and outside because you needed to write the tools that actually interfaced to the kernel.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that's interesting because I think do you think it kind of teed you up for the second big thing you did, which was embedded Linux?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it kind of, at a meta, kind of level.
Right.
Right.
Well, we are talking meta level.
That's right, exactly. At a meta level, it was like, all right, okay, so now I understand how the kernel works. Let's look at how the entire thing kind of comes together, right? Or trying to explain it to other people, because I was like, oh, I can do this over the weekend, right? But then you start writing about it, and it takes you 2 years to write a book, and you're like, oh my God, this is 2 years to explain this stuff? So anyway, yes, that's how kind of the Building Embedded Linux book came to be, essentially.
So, embedded Linux is awesome, and people still build embedded Linux systems, but more and more people are looking around for Android, and they're thinking, oh, I can use this Android. So, I think, what was it, about a year and a half ago now, you set out to write the embedded Android book.
That's right. Same thing kind of twice. It's like, okay, Android's cool. Let's see how that works. And then you start digging into that. It's like, oh my God, this is not embedded Linux. Okay, this is something different, and it's got its own kind of little world. And by the time you're done, 2 more years.
2 more years. That's right. So in 10 years, when Microsoft opens up the NT kernel, we'll have OpenNT.
Exactly. There you go.
Awesome.
End of story. We're taking bets right now.
So this is so in Copenhagen you came and you gave us.
I virtually came.
You virtually came to connect, and you were part of the Android Mini Summit.
Yep.
Which was great.
Thank you.
But here you actually decided to fly further and come to Hong Kong.
Absolutely.
So how has your Connect session? How has your Connect been?
It's been really cool. I mean, I do a lot of these presentations, but this is a case where I actually had in the crowd people that have been doing this full time, for quite a while, and that actually know their shit, so to speak, if you excuse my French. So, it's like, cool. We actually get a good conversation going on here.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I really like that.
So yesterday you went up to Shenzhen.
Yes, we did.
This was the first time you'd been there.
Absolutely.
So, did you see what your work has actually wrought?
Armageddon.
Armageddon out of here.
Yeah. It's the Android Armageddon, man. It's just taking over the world. I mean, Android was all over the place. We found this, and the video is on the web, this phone that looks like an iPhone. Even the UI looks like an iPhone, except when you reboot it, because then you actually get to see the Android logo on it. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the same template you saw across the board.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. I appreciate you sharing all this with me, and
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming to connect and doing your sessions and sharing the hard work that you've put in to understand a lot of the key things. I know I've been doing this a bit, and I was learning things, which was fantastic.
Glad to hear that.
So
Glad to hear. Well, thank you guys for inviting me. Thank you guys for inviting me. That's really appreciated.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're always welcome back.
Thank you, sir.